Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for GRE. We have been solving GRE math problems out of this book here, the official guide to the revised GRE, the second edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 220. Please turn to it, page 220, and today is our lesson number 310. As a matter of fact, I just realized that the problem that we are about to do is not on page 220, but it's a problem very similar to the one that you see on page number 220. It is a bonus problem. It is not in the book. It is very similar, actually very similar to problem number 15. Or actually, to be more precise, it's not actually that similar. I changed my mind. Well, you decide, okay? You decide. The two that we did yesterday, those were also bonus problem on day number 309. The two that we did yesterday, those were also bonus problems. Those were not in the book, but they were, in fact, very similar to problem number 15. Today, the problem that we're going to do is slightly different. Here's how it goes. It says, when a positive integer a is divided by another positive integer b, the remainder is 6. If a over b equals 36.15, what is the value of b? And here are the answer choices: A, B, C, D, and E. 40, 36, 25, 18, and 15. One more time, the question says, if a positive integer a is divided by another positive integer b, they are both positive integers, is divided by another positive integer b, we are told in that case the remainder is going to be 6. We are also told that this quantity a divided by b is precisely 36.15, precisely. Question is, what's the value of b? Now what I want you to do at this point is to pause the video and solve this problem yourself. Try to solve this problem yourself, see what you can do there. Once you have solved it yourself, even if you have some trouble doing it, just being able to think on your own for a while about the problem, you'll find it fruitful. Pause the video, try to solve it yourself, and then compare your work that you're going to do yourself with the work that we're about to do together, okay? I'll give you a couple of seconds to pause and unpause. Now, here's what's going on. You see? Here's what's going on. Let me give you a simple example first. Let me give you a simple example first. For example, 13 divided by 2, we know, equals 6 and 1/2. This 6 is called the quotient. That is called the quotient. So here we can write this as 6 plus 1 over 2. Because we're dividing it by 2. You see, that's where this 6.5 comes from. 6 is the quotient plus 1 over 2. Nobody's going to argue with it. Nobody's going to argue with the fact that 13 divided by 2 is 6 plus 1 over 2. Similarly here, I should not have taken up this much room. I left no room for myself to actually do the problem. So here, instead of 13 and 2, we have a and b. A and b is going to equal to some coefficient q plus whatever is the remainder. Remainder is 6 divided by b. 6 divided by b, because 6 is the remainder and we're dividing it by b. One more time, perhaps I can squeeze it somewhere here maybe. Let's do a different one. Let's see if I can think of let's see if I can quickly think of a different one. How about 37 divided by 17. There is it. 37 divided by 17, we know, has to equal 2 plus 3 divided by 7. You see, 2 plus 3 divided by 7. This 2 is our quotient. In this case, our quotient, the Q, is 36. In this case, the Q is 36. So this quantity A over B has to equal 36 plus 6 divided by B, because we're dividing it by B, just like here. 37 divided by 17, it should say 17, not 7. 37 divided by 17 has to equal 2, which represents 34 over 17. But once we have taken care of 34, we're left with 3. That's your remainder. That's your remainder. 37 divided by 17 has a remainder of 3. Here we have a remainder of 6. But whatever the remainder is, that remainder of 3 divided by 17. You see that? This says 17. So I want you to compare. If you can understand this part, you can understand this part. A over B has to equal whatever the coefficient is, whatever the quotient is. This is called the quotient. Whatever the quotient is, in this case it is 36. But we are not interested in 36 at all. 36 is not going to get us anywhere. But anyway, that's what it is. The quotient here is 36 plus this remainder, which is 6 divided by B. Are you with me so far? But we also know that this quantity has to equal 36.15. 36.15, which can be written as 36 plus 0.15. Are you with me still? But therefore, this is the quotient. Right here is the quotient, which is 36 here. What does it tell you? That tells us that 6 over B must be 0.15. That's it, we're done. All we have to do is now solve for B. Let's go and continue here. So this equation tells us, this implies, if you solve for this equation, this implies that B equals, bring the B up there and bring the 0.15 down here. So 6 divided by 0.15, 6 divided by 0.15, multiply the top and bottom by 100, and we end up with 600 over 15. And how many 15 in 60? We have 600 over 15. 60 has 4 15. So there we go. 600 divided by 15 is 40. Voila. In other words, this quantity A over B equals 36.15. This is same as 36, and we have a remainder of 6, so it is 6 divided by 40. Voila. 36 and 6 divided by 40 will be 0.15. That's it, we're done. I'm not sure if I did a very good job explaining everything, but that's what it is. And I'm not, if I try to start over again, then I'll just be repeating myself. The good thing about these videos is that you can always rewind it with a button, which you can do with the teacher in the classroom. So if you had troubles understanding something, just rewind it and listen to it again. Hopefully it will be clear. That's all. I'll see you tomorrow. We are done with this thing. Today was day number 310, which is one of the reasons why I did a couple of bonus problems, because 310 is a nice round number. And now after this one, we're going to move on in the book. We're going to have a big jump in the book, and we're going to move on to the algebra portion, which is a different topic altogether. And we're going to start that part, the chapter number 2 on page number 222, which is the algebra portion. We're going to start that tomorrow. Okay, with day 311, of course. Bye now.